You're tuned in to Repco Muscle Garage, the home of New Zealand's toughest muscle cars, hot rods and street machines. Proudly brought to you by Repco, in association with Mount Shop, Maguire's and Rislone. And to kick off the season, we're heading to the Wild West, to one of New Zealand's biggest and most highly regarded automotive car shows, the Kumeu Classic Car and Hot Rod Festival. Now on the cusp of its 30th anniversary, Kumeu has well and truly become a West Auckland icon, stopping local traffic in its tracks every year as tens of thousands flock to the showgrounds to see the best, the brightest, and the weirdest Auckland and New Zealand's automotive community have to offer. This epic show actually had more humble origins as a National Street Rod Association club event. Since then, it's quickly taken on a life of its own, growing to become a highlight of the calendar and a bona fide Auckland institution. And from the beginning, it's been run by the equally legendary promoter Ken Galvin, a passionate hot rodder who's always been the show's driving force.
What's best about Kumeu is you've got an atmosphere here, and it's sort of like, I don't know how to put it into words actually. It's just an experience, you know? It's evolved into a big animal. We park about 3,500 cars here, and everyone's got a story, you know? I'd love to do a book on some of the things that have happened here. We've had jet cars here that have fired up, burnt the ground, tanks crushing cars. West Auckland is, like Wild West. It's the mecca of why not? It's about being different. People are coming now because they don't know what's going to happen, you know?
Yep, Ken's dealt with plenty of unpredictable curveballs, going through thick and thin to stage the show over the years. But the 2022 event has had more than its fair share of challenges, thanks to the recent Omicron outbreak. Fortunately, it hasn't derailed things, although it came close.
The highlight of this year's event has been, yahoo, we can do it. No red lights, no nothing. You look around, it's an open door event, there's no mask, there's no nothing, there's no politics here, and the highlight is the fact we can actually have it on. It takes a year to put on and get together. We get a lot of people doing it, and we didn't even know it was going to be on until 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, and we're still planning it. You can't do it in a day, you know. But I don't run it by myself. We have about 64 staff, and apparently I've got to take it easy, so they do everything for me now, which is a bit of a nuisance.
So Ken, his family, and a large dedicated team are the engine room. But a show like this simply wouldn't be possible without sponsors too. And Repco New Zealand in particular go the extra mile to show their genuine passion for this special event.
All of our guys are really passionate about cars, which is awesome, and it's part of what we do, and it's just great to have our staff showcase their beautiful cars as well.
This is my Plymouth Fury, 1965, four-door hardtop, so it's pillarless. 383 big block underneath the bonnet. I'm a Mopar man. I love Mopars, and I like Plymouth Furies. I like the sheer of them because I love the stand-up headlights in these cars. I think they're cool, but I love Mopars because Mopar is the best car. All these cars around the stand are all owned by Repco employees. A lot of us are petrol heads, and we love old cars. And cars are our business. Cars are our life.
Kumeu is one of those iconic events. It's been around a long time, and Repco's in its 100th year this year. So again, we think we're a pretty iconic brand, and it's just a really great fit for us. Everybody that we ever speak to, whether they're mad about cars or not, they all know about Kumeu. And the people here are they're our people, and we just love being out here. It's just a fantastic place.
It's given me a good life, and of course the thing is that it's a good hobby, and give it back to the people. People come in their cars, they don't pay to get in, they come in for free, and that's what we always want it to be, so they're part of the feeling. They've taken ownership of it actually, so what actually happens is that it's their event, not ours. We just put it on like party at Kelly Brown's house, you know what I mean? And sort of like, they make do with what it is, and they have a great deal of respect for it.
Now, this isn't just a car show on a seriously impressive scale. These days, the festival really is just that, a festival. With trade stands and swap meets, the Miss Kumeu pageant, rock shows, even the National Barbecue Competition all in the lineup, there's loads to do amongst a fantastic family-like atmosphere. There's something for everyone here, and with the thousands of cars and bikes on display, a vehicle for everyone too. For a start, there's plenty of classics, collectibles and car clubs on display.
My name's Jason Duff and I'm very proudly representing the Ford Thunderbird Owners Club of New Zealand. And our club's been in New Zealand for about 28 years now. So we have 80 current active Thunderbirds in our club. They were Ford's luxury statement car at the time. They were considered to be a personal luxury car in an era when all you had otherwise were massive land yachts or little shopping trolleys for mum. My particular one is the dunger of the fleet. It's a 62. It wears its original paint, its original shoes, and it's not the belle of the ball, but it's so fun to drive. And the kids these days, they see the chrome, the bumpers, and all the accessories, and you know, it's just something different to the plastic and stuff that you get today.
My name's Chris, and we're from the Military Reenactment Society of New Zealand and the Military Vehicle Club of New Zealand. These are World War II Jeeps. This one's a Ford and that one's a Willys. I've restored this one. It was a complete rebuild because it's been on a farm, it was cut up. And I basically put it back to as original as I possibly can. There's quite a big crowd of people that rebuild them and use them. We can have some events here where we might have 10, 12. Our club have been coming to the Hot Rod Show for a number of years. We used to put on like mock battles and stuff quite a few years ago. We think it's a great event, like we look forward to it every year.
November 69 XW GT Falcon. It's not a phase 2 or 3 car, it's just a genuine XW GT, matching numbers car. Used to drive the Falcons when I was a young fella, you know, like sort of 16 years old and things like that, so it was just something that I've always liked to own. Yeah, the car was on a rotisserie, so it was completely in bits. The gentleman that I bought it off had owned it for 35 years and he'd done a lot of work on it. I own Green Park Panel and Paint in Penrose, and we took it in there and went through the whole car, put the skins off, did all sorts of things to get the gaps right in it, and 2 and a bit years later it's in this condition here now. So.
Rob Milligan's the name, and I'm the president of the American Classic Car Club here. We only really have one rule in our car club, and that's that you've got to have an American car when you join, and that American car has to be 25 years or older, and that's essentially it. And that's good because that's a moving goalpost each year. You get a slightly more modern vehicle join your club. People like coming to the car club because you'll never find 2 cars the same. We've got such a variety of our cars. We've got a beautiful Mark 1 Mustang. We've got several other muscle cars within the car club as well. You know, we always do a yearly Kumeu Sortie. That's actually my station wagon right there. It's a 1976 Pontiac Grand Safari. So it's the top of the line, last of the full genuine full-size B-bodied GMs. So it's got the full 126-inch wheelbase, 455 cubic inch Pontiac V8. So yeah, it's the last of the true big American cars.
The advanced protection of hybrid ceramic.
Whoa.
Now in 3 easy-to-use products. In original spray wax, now as a liquid wax, and a spray detailer. Meguiar's hybrid ceramic family with advanced SiO2 technology. Meguiar's, ceramic made easy.
Rizlone has been in engines almost as long as engines have been in cars. Why? Because from then until now, there's never been a perfectly clean fuel. This means every time you fill up, you're adding pollutants and contaminants to your fuel system. Rizlone Fuel Injector Cleaner can cure those woes and help save your engine. Rizlone Fuel Injector Cleaner adds an upper cylinder lubricant, providing double the cleaning power out of the same bottle. We know something about aging well, so when we say it's your engine's fountain of youth under a screw top, you can count on it. Rizlone is the original engine tune-up. Available at participating stores near you.
Welcome back to Repco Muscle Garage, and thanks to our mates at the Mount Shop, we're back at Kumeu. Kumeu also has a huge range of weird and wonderful custom creations from legions of hot rodders and modders too. Many are here showing their wares, with some also getting out the tools and working on their rides as well.
We've been running for 15, 16 years. We started out just being predominantly panel and paint, but focusing on old cars. Now we're 100% just older cars, mainly 50s through to 70s muscle cars and classic cars. So we do everything, from getting the car blasted, painted, engine, trans, wiring, any of the engineering work. We do all of that, all in-house. The story with this car is a friend of mine decided he wanted to build a daily driver. October we purchased the truck and started buying parts for it. In December we decided, right, let's pull this thing apart for Christmas and we'll do a quick little build before Kumeu and see how far the boys can get. So we got in there and pulled it apart, sent it off to the sandblasters the week before Christmas. We came back on the 5th and picked it all up, started there. We got 10 guys at work and we basically spent 10 days getting it from sandblasted parts to almost a truck. Whew, where did we start? The specs on this truck. So for a start, it's had a full bare metal respray. It's got an LS1 motor, 4L60 auto trans, 12-bolt rear end with 411 gears, 4-wheel disc brakes, digital dash. We've got just heaps of mod cons in there, push button start. It was going to be built as a daily driver, so you wanted all the air conditioning, all that sort of carry on, everything that a modern car has.
Name's Ryan Gracie, here with a car club called Westie Road Markers, probably established about 20 years ago, just in Henderson, and we used to go to burnout competitions and car shows and run amok. Westie Road Markers is probably all about street machines, sort of modifying cars from standard and making them go fast or look cool, or big wheels, big brakes, that sort of thing. 69 Camaro, Evil 69, I've had it about 20 years and just slowly done it up. Got it as a shell and ran all sorts of different motor combinations, gearboxes, broken lots of stuff, and eventually got it to where it is now. 358 small block Chevy, aftermarket trans, TBS blower. Built mainly for burnouts and this sort of event, and sort of getting into a bit more track work with it. We've taken it to Australia, to Summernats twice, and it's competed in the Masters, which is pretty epic for, I suppose, for a New Zealand car.
This is one of Graham Cowan's outlaw nitro funny cars, 4 13 cubes. Runs a little 671 blower on it and on nitro methane. Produces about 4,000 horsepower and it's a hell of a ride. You pull in the vicinity of 4 Gs on the launch and about 4.5 on the deaccelerations. You accelerate from 0 to over 400 Ks in less than 5 seconds. It pins you back and holds you there until the chute comes out, and then you smack hard on the chutes. You just climb out of the car going, come on, let's do that again. It's hard to describe, really. Haven't really felt the full weight of the car yet, because we've only done 3 passes in it. Merry next weekend we'll be trying again, doing 3 more passes. The garage at home is a bit tight, so we figured while it was here, we might as well strip the blower off and start preparing the car for next weekend, because there's a lot to do on these things. Nothing's left to chance. Everything is checked, rechecked and double checked, and we have to take the lifters out of it to soak them in oil for a week before we put them back in to run the car. So there's lots of things you've got to check, lots of things you've got to do, and lots to get right. People love seeing that sort of stuff. They love you seeing working on the cars, so we thought, let's do it here. Why am I into this? Brute force and ignorance. You're dealing with 4,000 horsepower and it's just a hell of a ride. I just love cars. I love working on them, I love building them, racing them. I've always done it and it's always been a passion.
And the following week, when Michael took the impressive Nitro Hoon 57 Chevy funny car to the Meremere track for its first test and trial on the quarter mile, all the hard work paid off. Ultimately, he and the team laid down a 6.4 at a seriously quick 226 miles per hour. So it's fair to say the debut was a roaring success.
We managed to get 3 runs in. First run was a half-track pass, just to get a feel for the car again. Second run, we tried to push it a bit further, and we got about 3/4 track. And then the last run, the driver found the throttle. And we run through at a 6.4 at 226 mile an hour. Everything happens so incredibly quick. You basically don't think about anything as much. You're just focused on what the car's doing. People always ask you what it costs and all the rest of it, but it's got nothing to do with the cost. It's all about the love of the sport. I love drag racing, always have. I do it as long as I can, really.
Despite a few bumps in the road in the lead-up, we have to say hats off to Ken and the team for pulling off another awesome festival. And that trademark dogged perseverance sets this show apart. Reliably turning up year in and year out meant Kumeu had a big impact on the scene. In fact, over nearly 3 decades, the Kumeu show has slowly but surely become one of the lasting symbols of New Zealand's love for automotive culture. And even after all those years, Ken still appreciates each and every car that rolls in.
The thing is that every single car is special to me, you know? And the guys are running around a Model A Tourer and it looks like it's right out of the farmland, you know? And then the guys run around and blowing big block, you know? It's like, cool. I'm not a hot rod bitch where I go along and say, oh, geez, I would have done it that way. You know, I don't care. Every car's good, because they've made an effort to get here, you know?
The Kumeu Classic Car and Hot Rod Festival. It's a party like no other, a pilgrimage that just keeps rolling on every West Auckland summer. It's pretty different, and that won't change. And it feels pretty unstoppable too, showing absolutely no sign of slowing down. In fact, it's recently been confirmed for 2023. So what exactly is it that keeps the crowds and cars coming back year after year?
So we've been coming to Kumeu for, well, pretty much since it started.
Probably 40 years.
We always camp here. We have done for probably the last 10 or 15 years.
What's not to like about Kumeu?
It's one of the most well-known shows in New Zealand. It attracts people from far and wide. We've got members from far and wide.
You can learn a lot, especially if you're building a car and you want to get ideas on what and how and who to see and who to trust.
We have the same stand here every year and people get to know us here and get ready for new customers for the year coming up.
Everywhere you look. If you're not a car enthusiast, even if you're not a car enthusiast, what's not to like about Kumeu?
It's just like a giant Westy Christmas time, I suppose. You're just catching up with mates that you haven't seen since last Kumeu, but everyone just seems to come. It's awesome.
It's superbly well organised by Ken and has been for many years. It's a great turnout.
Talk to people, find out different information. Everybody's willing to share their information. Yeah, it's a good place for that sort of stuff.
Looking at all the stuff in the swap meet, looking at all the opportunities and getting some great ideas.
For us, it's our local show. You know, we're in Silverdale. You know, it's 40 minutes away, and this is where our audience is.
It's the one show per annum that most classic car owners and hot rodders know about.
If you haven't been here, hey, you need to be here. If you've been here, hey, you're never going away, you know?
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week for more of the meanest muscle cars, hot rods and street machines on Muscle Garage. Feel like your car could do with some TLC? No worries, we've got every base covered because we could be hooking you up with an incredible prize pack thanks to our sponsors. For a start, there's this massive Maguire's and Rislone complete car care pack valued at over $760. We've also thrown in this handy 85-piece Repco toolkit valued at $672. To stay on top of everything underneath, there's a $500 mount shop voucher. And last but not least, you'll also score a year's subscription to NZV8 magazine. That's a total prize pool of nearly $2,000. To enter, just head over to themotorhood.com and hit the Repco Muscle Garage link on the homepage. The winner will be drawn at the end of the series, so make sure you get amongst because this prize pack is one major haul. Good luck. Repco Muscle Garage was proudly brought to you by Repco. It starts with the parts. Mount Shop Undercar Specialists. Maguire's, people who love cars love Maguire's. And Rislone, high performance additives for high performance vehicles.